Hola, buenos días. Bienvenido a la semana número 2. Welcome to week number 2. So let's see. We are here in week number 2, and what you have to do is, memorize the vocabulary, all right? So I'm gonna say this in every single video. You have to memorize the vocabulary before you go into the grammar. Okay, so now you know the vocabulary, let's learn the grammar. So what we're going to learn today, we are going to learn the direct, right here, direct and indirect object pronoun, okay? So the direct object pronouns are this: me, te, lo, la, nos, los, and las. Me is for yo or for I, te is for you, lo is for him or it, la is for her and or it, nos is us, los is them, masculine or mixed, and las is them, feminine. All right, so this is pretty much when we use the direct object pronoun is to replace the noun, to avoid repetition. For example, if we're making cake, we're making a cake here in my house, and we don't have milk. So I go and tell you, hey, could you please go to the store and get it? So that it's the milk, all right? So I don't say milk again and again and again. So to avoid repetition, I will say it. So that's exactly how the direct object pronouns work in Spanish, okay? In English, we have it, we have them, we have her, we have him, all right? In Spanish, we have all of this. Now, here is an example. Veo a la profesora. So, veo a la profesora. You reading this sentence and you go and say, well, I don't know what I'm going to replace here. If you have no idea what to replace here, then you're going to ask in your head, who do I see? And whatever is the answer, that's what you're going to replace. For example, in this case, who do I see? The answer is the teacher, la profesora. Oh, I'm going to replace la profesora. La profesora is her, right? So you're going to replace it for la. And then that will be la veo, I see her. So you see how in English, the direct object pronoun is at the end of the sentence. In Spanish, you're always going to replace the direct object pronoun in front of the verb. In front of the verb. You're only going to do this when it's one verb involved, okay? In front of the verb. All right, here is another one. Héctor tiene el itinerario. So I don't know what I'm going to replace here, so I'm going to ask in my head, what is what Hector has? And the answer is itinerario. Oh, okay, so the itinerario, you're going to replace it with one of these. Itinerario is it and it's masculine, so it's lo. So then Héctor lo tiene. So Hector has it. You see how it is at the end? But in Spanish, it's in front of the verb. Now, when it's two verbs involved in a sentence, you do this a little bit different, all right? So, for example, in this case, I have, no voy a hacer la tarea. So I have one verb here and I have another verb here. But the second verb, you see how it's not being conjugated? When you are in a situation like that, right? No voy a hacer la maleta hoy. So, first of all, let's see what you're going to replace here. I'm not going to do the suitcase today. All right, I don't know what to replace here. Then in your head, you go and say, what do I need to make or pack or do? And then the answer is suitcase. Oh, la maleta, suitcase. Okay, so you're going to replace maleta. Maleta, it's it and it's feminine, so la. Okay, la maleta. So then remember how I say here, you place the direct object pronoun in front of the verb. So because there are two verbs involved in these sentences, so there are two different ways to do this. So yes, you're going to replace maleta for la and you're going to place it in front of the verb. So that will be no la voy a hacer hoy, or you attach the la to the second verb. No voy a hacerla hoy. Both make sense, but you cannot have la here and la here. That won't make sense. And again, you only do this when you attach it to the second verb when it's two verbs involved, not when it's one. Because if you do this when it's one verb involved, you're not making sense, okay? All right, so that was direct object pronoun. Now we go with the indirect object pronoun. The indirect object pronoun, the pronouns are me, te, le, nos, and les. And this is pretty much referred to people most of the time. It's when you're doing something for somebody, when it's people involved, okay? In this case, for the indirect object pronoun, this one, the direct object pronoun replace object, okay? So when you are replacing object with those pronouns, you cannot mention the object anymore. For example, in English, you say, buy it, the milk. That's wrong, because that it refers to milk. So you cannot say it and milk at the same time. You say milk or you say it. The same thing in Spanish. You cannot say those pronouns plus the item because you're not making sense. Now, in this case, the indirect object pronoun, you can use the pronoun plus the person's name, okay? It makes sense, but that will be up to you if you want to leave it out or mention it. So let me give you some example here. Mamá les da el dinero a José y a Ana. Okay, so my mother is doing something for those two people right here. She's giving something for those two people right here. All right? So those two people are them. So what is the pronoun you're going to use for them? And the indirect object pronoun, that will be les. And remember, you put or you place that pronoun in front of the verb. So that will be mamá les da el dinero a José y a Ana. You can leave José and Ana there if you want to. Yes, you can do that. Or you can leave it out, like here. Mamá les da el dinero. You leave it out. But you always place the verb the pronoun in front of the verb if it's only one verb, okay? Now, I don't know which one is the indirect object pronoun. Then you ask a question. To whom my mom is giving money? And the answer is José and Ana. And then that's the indirect object pronoun. José and Ana, that means them. Oh, so it's less. You place it in front of the verb. Now here is the same thing like this one right here. When it's two verbs involved, okay, it's two different ways to do it. You place it in front of the verb, or you place the pronoun attach it to the second verb. So let's go back here. Le voy a vender mi coche a Sara. So I'm going to do something for Sara. What I'm going to do for Sara, I'm going to sell my car to Sara. Okay, so who I'm going to sell the car to? The answer is Sara. Oh, Sara. Sara is her. So it's le. Where are you going to place that le? In front of the verb. Le voy a vender mi coche a Sara. But because there are one and two verbs involved, so I can do this, like this one, le voy a vender mi coche a Sara. Again, you want to leave Sara there, or you can leave it out. It makes sense in Spanish, as long as we know who we're talking about. Or you attach the le to the infinitive. Voy a venderle mi coche. And you can say again a Sara, or just leave it out. Okay, that's up to you. As long we know who you're talking about, you can leave the name out. All right? All right, so this is the lesson for today. So what you need to do now is going back, right? Going back, and you are going to do your homework for week number 2, which is this one right here. So it looks like you have 2 homeworks right here. So again, try to type your answers into this into your homework. All right, save it and send it to me all together in one file. All right, that's all. Talk to you soon. Adios.